and welcome to the second episode of Parenting Potter, a series where I take a critical look at the parental figures in Harry Potter's life and the effects they have on his development within the entire Harry Potter series. I was really pleased that so many people enjoyed the first episode of Parenting Potter, and your support means so much to me because it does take a lot of work to put these together, but I definitely think they're worth it. In the first episode, I took a look at the effects of absent parents on Harry and the different effects that James and Lily have on his development. I also briefly contextualized these within the wider field of children's literature. If you've not seen that episode yet, I will leave a link to it down in the description. I don't think it's essential for you to watch every episode in this series, but I do think the first episode is a really good one to watch to just get an idea of the kind of themes I'm going to be talking about for the rest of the series. In this episode, I am going to be talking about the first kind of parental figures that Harry has in the Dursley family. They're certainly not good parental figures, but they have that role and place in his life for the first 11 years. One of the questions a lot of people ask about the Dursleys is, why did Dumbledore leave him with the Dursleys? They're horrible people. Hopefully over this episode I will give some sort of answer to that question. The Dursleys definitely have a function and a role and a contribution to Harry's development, so hopefully I will be able to show what that is. As critics like Cornfeld and Prothero have said, the Dursleys are kind of like a bit of a cartoon parody of a family. However, in their awfulness, they do give a really useful example to Harry. It's an extremely negative example, but a useful one nonetheless. They show the unacceptability of certain kinds of behaviours, which really influence Harry's development and later on his choice of family and friends. Remember, my argument throughout this series is that Harry is constantly looking for family and choosing what family he would like to have. So Harry's aunt and uncle Mr. and Mrs. Dursley are introduced in the very first sentence of the saga as the most ordinary family imaginable. So since they are Harry's only living family, he is forced to grow up within their family unit. But they turn out to be unimaginative, unpleasant, and they neither understand him nor care to learn to understand him. During the time Harry spends with him, which is the first 11 years of his life and his summer holidays from Hogwarts, the Dursleys continually treat Harry like crap. And Harry doesn't find out the real reason that he has to stay with the Dursleys until the 5th book, The Order of the Phoenix, when Dumbledore finally discloses some key information that he is protected by an ancient magic. While you can still call home the place where your mother's blood dwells, there you cannot be touched or harmed by Voldemort. He shed her blood, but it lives on in you and her sister. Her blood became your refuge. You need return there only once a year, but as long as you can call it home, whilst you're there he cannot hurt you. Your aunt knows this. They also tell us a huge amount about wizarding society and its emphasis on blood relations. Blood lineage is a huge part of wizarding society. Obviously we have the pureblood, half-blood, muggle-born situation, but also being part of the family that you share blood with is a very big part of the wizarding world. However, without disregarding the importance of blood relations in Harry's life, the series does show that blood relations aren't the be-all and end-all of your identity. Do the Dursleys have a role outside of this magical blood protection? Yes, they definitely do. As horrible as the Dursleys might be, they do have an important role in the development of Harry's personality. Their obsession with normal behaviour, first of all, causes the Dursleys from the very beginning to see Harry, a budding wizard who produces magic that he can't quite yet control, as a rule breaker. And this label kind of becomes an inherent part of Harry's personality even when he goes on to Hogwarts. Harry is faced with a very unfair set of family rules, most of which exist to hinder his development and suppress his powers. Since these rules are so unfair, Harry sees no reason to follow them. Why would you follow a rule that is applied to yourself but not the other 11-year-old? So Harry develops this predisposition to break the rules. Is this something Dumbledore did intentionally? Was this part of his grand plan? Did he want to train this trait into Harry by making him stay with the Dursleys? In addition to this, growing up the victim of Dudley and his parents' bullying, gives Harry a very clear depiction of what negative behaviour is. This teaches him what it means to be pushed around and shows him what kind of friends and family he wants to choose moving through his life. He certainly did have a traumatic childhood, but this has given him the ability to assess who he wants to be friends with, who he wants to choose to be part of his life, why he rejects being friends with Malfoy in favour of Ron Weasley. The Dursleys function as a very negative portrayal of family life is a stark contrast to the Weasleys. He wants a family nothing like the Dursleys. He wants a family like the Weasleys. And this goes towards explaining why he does choose the Weasleys to become his family later on in life. He pretty much becomes adopted by Motley, and then he goes on to marry into the family through Ginny. In the end, the overall effect of bringing Harry into the Dursleys' life is to teach him how to conduct his family life, how he can make the right choices, and how he can go about searching for the real family that he really wants. So that was the second episode of Parenting Potter. I really hope you enjoyed this, and I do hope it was as good as the first episode. I didn't get to cover everything that I wanted to talk about, so be sure to start a conversation down in the comments, and hopefully we can chat about a few more of the things and aspects to do with the Dursleys and the effects they have on Harry. Next, I'm going to be looking at Remus Lupin and Sirius Black as potential replacement father figures. They are two very well loved and well respected characters and very interesting characters, so I'm definitely looking forward to doing the research on those and filming the next episode and seeing your reaction to it.